All right, everyone. So I am happy to share my grant writing experience with you all. So I subscribe to Texas Grant Watch. Um, Texas Grant Watch gives me grants to different places, but this is not the particular one we're going to go through today. The one we're going to go through today is coming from startupxs.com, is where I was directed from Texas Grant Watch. Now we're going to go here and we're going to look at this is the, that was a different one there, y'all. Do have quite a bit of information for grants and things of that nature. And I'm holding my Zoom meetings. Of course, I've got some really positive feedback from some of the people that did attend the Zoom. So I'm feeling positive about that. So this is the COVID-19 Artist Relief Fund, excuse me. It is launched to support artists during the COVID-19 crisis. Artist Relief is an emergency initiative organized by the Academy of American Poets, Artadia, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, Creative Capital Foundation for Contemporary Arts, MAP Fund, National Young Arts Foundation, and United States Artists. I always recommend, as you're filling out your grant paperwork, to kind of scroll and look at those that are organizing or funding the grant. It is always good to know the person you're talking to, right, when you're presenting your proposal. All mid-sized national arts and coalition of national arts grant makers has come together to create an emergency initiative to offer financial and informational resources to artists across America, across the United States. They'll be distributing $5,000 grants to artists who are facing a dire financial need. I myself am really committed to my freelance writing career as a reading, writing tutor and coach, my personal self publishing ventures, attempting to also find and work with other artists who are writing and producing different mediums of art. So I am practicing my art in one of the 50 states. I'm 21 years or older. I am a practicing artist and I'm able to demonstrate a sustained commitment to my work career in public audience. I am hoarse right now because I was on the streets of Houston. So I'm excited to actually share that with the foundation organizers. I am experiencing dire financial emergency due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The restaurant that I was working for is now shut down. And so this is a dire financial emergency. I'm not certain of my financial standing going forward, even though I am investing in my business. And I want to thank y'all for investing, for clicking like. I am taking donations, and my Cash App is, it's the money sign, and it's Candids Cash, and that's CANDIDSCASH, and both of those C's are capitalized. So I can provide my social security number. I also do have my individual taxpayer identification number because I'm selling my books. I've been living and working in the United States for the last 2 years. I am not a full-time employee, board member, director, officer, or immediate family member of any of the coalition partners, and I have not been previously awarded a relief grant. The discipline that I am going to check when I get ready to fill this application out with you all today is writing: fiction, nonfiction, poetry, literature for children, criticism, graphic novels, journalism, arts, writing, etc. So I'm going to click here to apply. Now, I am applying for this. Now it says draft your responses in a separate word processing program and paste it into the application. to have a saved copy of your answers in the event that you need to reapply. I always recommend drafting kind of a form narrative, if you may, one that you can just kind of copy and paste. So it says before applying, we ask that the applicants self-evaluate whether they are experiencing dire financial emergencies during this time to make space for those urgently in need. Housing, medicine, caretaking, and food. This is if you have children. For instance, if you have kids and you need to secure childcare, that would definitely be a dire need. So now we're going to look at some of the frequently asked questions related to eligibility, application, selection process, and disbursement. And these are some of those eligible things that we went back over. So I want to reiterate about that W-9, Social Security number, and your individual taxpayer number. If you cannot provide your W-9, usually a Schedule C will work, or Schedule C or the K1. I think it's the K1. Now, while we understand, this is a note here, while we understand that creative practices are definitely broad due to limited capacity and overwhelmed volume of applications, we are not reviewing submissions by commercial merchants, occupations, or vendors working in auto maintenance, baking, ballooning, barbering, cosmetology, event planning and production, fitness, food makers, henna, horticulture, magic marketing, massage and healing therapy, modeling, nail design, professional speaking, soap making, etc. We are communicating this out of respect for your time and energy, as well as your reviewers' capacity and expertise. Additionally, applicants that do not provide enough information to confirm an artistic practice will be automatically denied. So, because they're not requiring any cover letters or work samples, you need to explain what you do in your short written statements. Now, this is going to be done on Submittable, and while we're doing that, we're actually going to be able to look at the Submittable tab as well and learn a little bit about Submittable. Now, you'll see here that I actually have a Submittable account already. That's my account here. But you definitely want to go on and create a Submittable account. The Submittable I found is really great for artists and even for artisans, okay? So we're going to go here and we'll scroll down to the artist relief. So we know that we're applying for the cycle that will be closing on August 26th, right? At the end of each cycle, applicants who did not receive funding will be notified and encouraged to reapply the following round. So now it says the system allows us to monitor capacity. My apologies, y'all. Looks like we scrolled up accidentally. It says the system allows us to monitor our capacity as well as maximize each applicant's opportunity to receive a grant. Additionally, reapplying each cycle allows artists to rearticulate their needs as their circumstances change during this pandemic. Of course, we know this is an unprecedented time, and we don't know how things are going moving forward. They did mention the hospitality industry here. And the reason that they mention the hospitality industry is because the hospitality industry is traditionally one of those occupational industries that artists tend to work at. And so it says that Artist Relief strives to ensure. Okay, it looks like I cannot use that scroll button. So now the final notifications will be sent from September 4th through the 7th. It says that they're, of course, ensuring about the racial, gender, ethnic, sexual expression, disability, socioeconomic status. Everyone does have access. They are attempting to reach communities that are historically underrepresented and excluded from resources. Pardon me. So that's going to mean um, we have here encourage artists of color, native and indigenous artists, immigrant artists, disabled artists, LGBTQJAP plus artists, and artists working outside of major cities to apply. So that would be the rural artist. So now we're going to determine our eligibility here. And here we're going to actually click here. I've already gone through this. So we're just going to scroll through this really quickly. I'm a practicing artist. I am experiencing dire need. I am 21 years of age. I can provide that document. I've been living and working. I'm not a full-time employee, and all of those things. So now I'm going to go all the way down here because we're not going to fill all that out. I'm going to go down here and I am going to fill out, I am writing for poetry, right? So again, y'all, we came up here. And that's probably because I'm not filling things out in order. So I have been interviewed or had my work reviewed in a publication. Recently, I had Alvin Perry review my work, and I'm working on with Nika tomorrow. I have not sat in a review panel. I've not completed a residency program. I have presented. I've performed my work. I've given an artistic talk. I'm doing that right now. I have taught in my discipline. I am a tutor right now, and I've taught before working at Newly Empowered Women and also working within the prison. When I was incarcerated, I worked with mentally developed inmates or offenders at the Valley unit, and I was a GED tutor there. I have received a statewide, citywide, or regional arts grant or funding, and I have not. I am a recipient of a national award. I am not. So I'm going to go back down here now that I've filled all those that do pertain to me out. This right here gives us an opportunity to provide a biography that expands on your artistic practice and accomplishment. You're going to use this space to tell about yourself, okay? So these items would be, for instance, I'm going to go ahead and spend about 1 minute drafting 100 words. And of course, you want to take the time to redraft this. And this is my first go at this. I want to share this experience with you all, of course, here in the Zoom. And we've got just a few more moments. Or here, pardon me, in the video. So I am a poet and community activist. I am passionate about the art of speaking in the voice of the unheard. This is just a little bit about myself. Of course, I am going to redraft this 1,000 times, and I will share with you all my final draft before I submit my application, because I will be going over this several times this week while I get ready to submit this application with y'all as we flesh out our own applications. So I'm a poet and community activist. I am passionate about the art of speaking in the voice of the unheard. So I'm going to go ahead and add, I am a performing poet and community activist. Because I am a performing poet. So I am a performing poet and community activist. I am passionate about the art of speaking in the voice of the unheard, which is absolutely untrue. My most recent project, Requiem in the Hood. Let's put that in. Requiem in the Hood. R-I. I like to, y'all, I like to go back and forth, go over this. Now, Requiem in the Hood is a self-published chapbook, right? Is a self-published chapbook. Dedicated to the young men and women. Now, remember, you've got so many characters or so many words. And remember, there are going to be people just like you and I reading this. Of course, you want to be grammatically correct. Of course, you want to be as professional as possible. Um, but you want to remember that it wants to be readable. You want it to be readable. You want it to give as much information as you can. I would not go to the whole 300 word maximum. I would not stop at the 100 word. I think it's safe to kind of stop in the middle. 175, 200 is the perfect middle, right? And then you're going to provide your social media link or website. For me, I'm going to go ahead and provide the www.candidjohnson.com website. I think on this website, they can see that I am a hospitality professional. I'm registered, certified, whatever. But in addition to that, I am also looking to be employed and safely employed without having to do something outside of what I would normally do or work in a intense labor situation. So I could really use some help with food because I'm not getting any food stamps right now. Housing, I could definitely use some help with medical as well. I don't have any caretaking needs right now, but I am going to say that I have, yes, definitely lost full-time work first day, March 18th. I am unsure, yes, when I will be able to do that. I don't have any financial safety. I do have unmanageable debt. I don't have a medical diagnosis associated with a diagnosed or suspected case of COVID-19. Although I do have medical expenses, I don't have medical expenses associated with a diagnosed or suspected case of COVID-19. I do not have health insurance, y'all. I do not have a chronic illness or underlying condition. Yes, I do. I have fibroid cysts. I'm not over 60 years of age. I'm not pregnant. I'm not a single parent. Um, I I do have financial responsibility for dependents, but not just total and ultimate. Um, my citizenship status does not put me at risk. I am not a refugee. I am not a member or direct descendant of an American Indian tribe, Alaska Native, or Native Hawaiian. I am at an elevated risk for a reason not listed here. And I'm going to say I am at an elevated risk because I am I am at an elevated risk for financial hardship due to my criminal background. Although I am over 22 years removed from the crime, I am still held accountable and denied certain access. Let's see here, y'all. Want to make sure what I'm writing. Sorry, my thing is there. And denied access to certain resources like housing. So that's why I'm in an elevated risk. My 300 word essay is going to definitely, or a talk about being unemployed. I was laid off. I'm going to call it due to COVID-19 restrictions in my city. I'm going to continue there to talk a little bit about what I have gone through. I'm going to identify as biracial, and I'm going to identify as Black or African American. I identify as African American, and that's a whole nother story. I am learning to identify as biracial because I am. I do not identify as transgender. I identify as a woman. I do not identify as LGBT any longer. I do not identify as disabled. This is my first time applying for a grant. And I do state here that the terms of condition are true, and I will agree. Now, here we're going to apply, but I'm definitely not ready to apply because we know I have some things to fill out. Just wanted to go through that with you all, show you how easy that is. Of course, you've got all of your information here, which is just definitely your legal information. We didn't go over that because you all will know that, your date of birth. Remember, we're going to be looking at the practice